Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles. Welcome to my channel. I am back in Brazil. As you can see, my green backyard and all the noise that might come up, you know. I'm back in my normal space. I have been back for almost 2 weeks now and I feel settled in. I have been sewing some things that I'm going to start showing you, and I wanted to ease into sewing with a very simple make that I would enjoy. And I had been looking forward to sewing this since last year when I purchased the pattern. I think one of the last end of the year sales from Style Arc, I purchased a few patterns. I really do like the style. I like the patterns, the way they fit me. I've had a good experience so far, and I don't really mind the small amount of instructions because yeah, for a simple thing like this, you don't really need that much. So what I'm going to show you today is the Meg Raglan Tee by Style Arc. I will insert a line drawing here. So the features of this pattern include raglan sleeves, a high-low hem, slits on the side that I usually do add on to my pieces because I like that, but this one actually comes with it. And it also comes with a design already done for the mitered corners that takes the guesswork out of like doing that little slanty cut that you have to calculate if you want to do it yourself, you know. It's got binding on the neckline and a shoulder dart to give it shape, so I really like that. As you can see, it looks like a loose fit meant for really light, you know, drapey wovens like silks and, you know, like rayons, chiffons, sort of thin drapey things. And I like the style. I like all the design lines it has. I love raglan sleeves. I think they look really nice. Although I've struggled to find a woven pattern that actually fits the shoulders and neck really, you know, comfortably, because sometimes they do tend to like restrict your movement. So I have written here the sizing, and it goes from sizes 4 to 30. So it will take you from a bust of 30.3 inches to 58.25, and a hip of 32.6 inches to 61 inches. So the size range is quite broad. As you know, you buy a single size and then you get the size above and the size under it, you know. So at the moment I'm buying a size 14, I get the 12 and I get the 16 with my purchase. The seam allowances are 3/8 of an inch for every seam. Well, that's 1 centimeter, and for the hem it's quite hefty, and for the slits it's 2 inches. So the fabric requirements say that you need 1.5 meters or 2, depends on the size. I was able to make mine with 1. I am now going to show you a little process video of some of the things I filmed throughout the process of making this, and I'll have a few words to say when I come back. The pattern calls for 2 meters of fabric, and I'm going to show you how I placed it to make it in 1 meter. I have the fold there and I have the selvage there. I'm putting the front there on the fold, but the back I'm leaving it there with a little seam allowance so I can do a center back seam. Now it is a print, it's not going to be noticeable, and I don't mind having a seam on the back if it's going to save me a meter of fabric. Because the print is non-directional, I put the sleeve in the other direction. It's still on the grain line, just upside down, and you can see I've got more than enough to put my pattern piece there. I did shorten the sleeve by 4 inches because I didn't want it that long, and from a little side there I have space there to make some bias binding to use on the neckline. That's how I get away with it. Now about fitting, this is very easy to construct, and I'm going to show you here that I find the neckline is a bit too high on the front. I've put a pin there about 5 centimeters down or 2 inches where I'm going to just take down that curve. I find that the blouse is too long as well, so I've pinned up about 2 inches as well, front and back. And the fit is fine. I could have gone down a size, but I'm just going to go with this size. Now if you wanted to shorten this blouse properly, the original pattern piece was double this, so that it's meant to be cut on a single layer. I'm not doing that. I just cut my pattern piece in the center line there so I can just put them on the fold. Yeah, I measured. I think this would be a bit too long, so there is a shorten and lengthen line there on the pattern, so that's really good. I've just marked it, and I'm going to chop off 2 inches of the total length above here. Now it's a good place to remove length rather than at the bottom. As you can see here, this is meant to have slits, So this is meant to be folded there, and then the hem up here. And this already has that slanted shape that takes the guesswork out of a mitered corner. So I don't want to lose this feature of this top. So I'm just leaving that intact and removing the length from up here where you're supposed to. So I'm just going to cut that out, put it back together, draw out the lines here on the side. So this one comes with mitered corners. I'm going to show you here how it's done on another blouse, so ignore that. You can see that slant there. I'm folding that onto each other, right sides together, and then I'm going to pin there with a 3/8 seam allowance or 1 centimeter seam allowance that is included in this pattern and well, all of Style Arc's patterns. So I'm just carefully pinning that there, and then I'm going to sew that little slant. So this takes the guesswork out of mitered corners. It's already done for you. You don't have to measure, don't have to do anything. So I'm just sewing that there, and then you're going to see me flip it, and it's going to be perfectly done and finished. I have overlocked all the edges prior to doing the mitered corners, and you can see me flipping it here. Very easy. You just have to turn that point in really well, and then on these slits, that's how it's going to look. It's about a 5 centimeter hem and allowance for the slit, as you can see, and it's perfect finish. Then all you have to do is sew it. Now I was able to make bias tape out of chiffon. I hadn't been able to do that before, and I used this spray that I used to iron my husband's shirts, and I just soaked basically my chiffon fabric with that. This is made out of, it has silicone. I don't actually know what it is, but anything that helps you press really helped me press and make the bias tape this time. So I hope that wasn't too confusing about the shortening thing. Well, I'd never sewn this before, and when I looked at the pattern pieces, they seemed to be at the correct length for me, but when I actually tried it on, I thought the overall blouse was way too long. That's why I decided to chop it off at the hem, which is not what you should do, especially when there is a detail like mitered corners on the slits, that I sort of lost that detail with this blouse. I did make it again properly, and I showed you those little images so I wouldn't lose what I wanted to show you. And that was the mitered corners that were included in the pattern. So that fabric that you see there, you're going to see it soon in something else. I think I could have gone down a size to a size 12. I think I will for the next one. It is quite roomy. It is intended to be worn with a cami underneath, because I intend to make these out of chiffon. I really love chiffon, and I have a whole drawer full of it, you know. So yeah, I'll show you the top now. I've got it here in a hanger. So I chose this blue printed chiffon, and it's got a little bit of like gold specks. I don't know if you can see that. Like every 5/8 of an inch, there's like a gold strand. I'm not sure you're going to see that on camera, but as you can see, it's very sheer. You can see meat right through that. I am stoked that I was able to make the bias binding out of the same fabric, because I tried last year with my Montana shirt, but it's to stitch to put it through the bias tape maker, and it just wouldn't press. The chiffon wouldn't press, you know. But now that I've soaked that fabric with that spray thingy, it actually did work, and I was able to bind that, and that looks really nice. For the slits, I still made them, but I didn't do mitered corners. So if you can see the finishing in there, it's just the lazy way that you would if you didn't do mitered corners, you know, just fold one up and then the other one on top. I tried to make it as neat as I could, you know, inside and everything, but I did lose the detail for this one. You know, I never mind doing a center back seam. I don't think it's noticeable at the back because of the print, and that does save a lot of fabric. So I'm gonna put it on so you can see. So I'm gonna try and show you as much as I can. So you can see the 2 inches I scooped it down is what I like. I like to have this sort of neckline. I think it's much more flattering than having it up higher. Anything touching my clavicles makes me really uncomfortable. You can see the raglan sleeves there and how nicely they fit and how good movement I can have. There's nothing restricting me while still keeping a sleek silhouette. It's still a slim sleeve and a good fit around the shoulders with that shoulder dart there. The binding looks really nice and flat and really nice. There's no gaping anywhere. And I have a little blue cami under there, so you know, it's not totally sheer. So here it is. I'm just wearing some shorts under there, but you can see it reaches there, mid-hip. And on the side, it is a little bit longer on the back. Super nice and flowy. And I really love it. I love this a lot. It's super nice. And I love this neckline. You know, this is something I could make a billion times and something I would hack totally. And it's so hackable that you're going to see a hacks very soon. I'm already working on a hack for this that would sort of transform it into something different, but keeping the same pattern, style sort of thing. So that's all I wanted to share for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have the chance to get this pattern, I recommend. It's very nice fit, very good, you know, like basic that you can make special with a special fabric like this. Now the next video you're going to see is on the 19th, and it will be my vlog about the day and night challenge run by Elizabeth Made This, and I'm really excited to show you the pieces that I came up with for that challenge. If you don't know, you can head over to Elizabeth Made This on Instagram and you can find out all about the challenge, and on her blog I will link all that down below. The deadline for that challenge is 17th of March, and it's basically you need to pick something you already own in your wardrobe, a dress or some piece that you don't wear, and create 2 accompanying garments for that piece that will take you from a day look and a night look. So I've taken something and I've created 2 separate pieces to totally change the look of it, and that is what I'm going to show you on Tuesday. Have fun sewing and I will see you soon. Bye.